The Patriots versus the Raiders. You're looking at I thought the Raiders were going to give the Patriots a little bit more of a challenge. I didn't expect them to get run all over by. And I think right now when you look at the Raiders are a good team. They look like they're going to be a playoff team, a wild card team in their division. Derek Carr looks like he's a different quarterback under John Gruden for the second year. I look at the big picture right now. I don't know if they're going to be able to beat those teams like the Patriots that are very well brought in with defense and offense. They don't have to be the best team with Tom Brady. They just have to be competitive with Cam Newton. Cam Newton's got to figure out the offense. You see that this past week, that just passed week number 3. Cam Newton showed you not only could he beat you with the legs, he could beat you with his hands, his throwing ability, and he sees the field very, very well. A little bit better, I believe, than Tom Brady does in the long throws. And also, what makes Cam Newton so dangerous is he's used as another running back. The Patriots didn't have a player of that magnitude all these years that could do things inside and out, inside the pocket. So I was very impressed with that. Another game that really stood out to me is the Vikings. The Vikings are 0-3. Who would have thought after adding some of the free agents and some of the trades that they made in the offseason that this team was going to be 0-3? Kirk Cousins might lose his job after this week if they don't win. This is a big game for Kirk Cousins. I was very surprised. They were up the whole game. Then Tennessee came back at the end of the game and won the game. Tennessee is the real deal. And I think the Vikings, I don't know how they're going to make the playoffs now. How many teams that we've seen, Eric, in the NFL in the last 10 years with an 0-3 record that's going to make the playoffs, that did make the playoffs? I think 1 or 2 teams in 10 years. So what
it's definitely an uphill battle. It's not a great start, to help your odds. But, another 0-3 team that I'm surprised in is the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, they've had leads in the fourth quarter and blown 2 leads that it's like, oh my goodness, there's no way this should be happening. You lose to the Dallas Cowboys. I think you're up 25 points. Then you lose to the Chicago Bears. After all the talent, you have Todd Gurley, you have Julio Jones, Ridley, Matt Ryan at your quarterback. You would think you'd be able to ice the game with those leads. And Atlanta's another team just like Minnesota that's struggling and got off to a slow start.
Well, also, the thing that I saw in Atlanta is the Bears took out Mitchell Trubisky. I disagree with it. I know they were down by 10 or 11 points, but Mitch was 2-0, and you should have given him the opportunity to try to come back in the game. They won the game. They brought in Nick Foles. Nick Foles is going to take over. They obviously think they have a better chance of winning with Nick Foles. I beg to differ. I think that Trubisky could do things inside and out of the pocket that Nick Foles can't do. So, again, I think they're going to regret what they did. And if Nick Foles does get hurt, you're going to see Mitchell Trubisky on the field again. Maybe it'll give him confidence. And I see Speedy moving around his head because he thinks it's a joke. You can say whatever you want. Mitchell Trubisky was 2-0. You don't take out a quarterback being that you're 2-0 going into the third quarter against a team that you were only down by 11 points. Who's to say Mitchell Trubisky couldn't come back? He came back from the Lions in the first game. So I disagree with that. But again, hey, if the Bears gave up all that draft lottery stock, made absolutely no sense, and now we're looking at the big picture now, I don't know what this team is all about. They're 3-0. We still don't know who they are. So those were the games that really stood out to me in week number 4. In week number 3. Now we're going into week number 4. I want to know your opinion on some of these games. I look at the Buccaneers. The Chargers lost a big game last week. A very close game. I thought they should have won that game. They were the better team, and they didn't play well. Defensively and offensively, they didn't play well. Justin Herbert had his second game. You saw the trials and tribulations that he's going to have as a rookie quarterback. He's not going to be as good as he was against the Chiefs. That just doesn't happen. He's going to have his ups and his downs as a rookie. But the Buccaneers versus the Chargers, going into Tampa, there's no crowd. Do you think the Chargers have a chance in this game?
Oh, I mean, they definitely have a chance. I mean, with Keenan Allen on your team, the Eckler, there's so much talent over there. And I think Justin Herbert, it's just a matter of time before the things start catching on. I mean, you see glimpses of greatness. And, you see his arm strength, you see the accuracy, you see why he was touted, prior to his senior year. As being one of the top guys, being the top quarterback to come out. And, they're really getting a lot out of him right now. I think that this defense is, as the Chargers get healthy, they're only going to get better. I mean, they're missing a ton of great talent on defense. I mean, Ingram, Derwin James. There's a lot of players for this team that they were counting on that aren't playing right now. You get that support around Justin Herbert, and the sky's the limit. But do I think that they'll go up to Tampa and get a win flying out to the East Coast? It's going to be a tough challenge, because Tampa's not going to make a lot of mistakes offensively. Defensively, Todd Bowles is going to get after the quarterback. He's going to mix up coverages. And so it's going to be tough on Justin Herbert. But they do have a chance. Do I think that they'll win? That's another conversation.
Another game that stands out to me, and I'm going to tell you, this is going to be a game that there's going to be a surprise team that wins this. That is the Seahawks versus the Dolphins. They're going to Miami. They're flying all the way to Miami. I think Miami's the real deal. I think they're very well coached. I think they have the defense. They can stay in this game. And I don't think Seattle's defense, the way they've played the last couple of weeks, are any good. They give up. Right now, I think they're ranked 26th, 25th in passing yards. This is adding Jamal Adams to that defense. They have a lot of weaknesses in the secondary. I think the Dolphins are going to be able to throw against them. I think the Dolphins are going to be able to do things that other teams couldn't do against them. I think the Dolphins are going to win this week. I really do. I think they're going to surprise the world, and they're going to knock off Seattle. But another game.
I'll actually be at that game.
Really?
I'll be at the Dolphins Seahawks game.
Look at you, man.
I'm excited. I got invited by some NFL execs, so the wife and I will be there. I'm from Washington State, so it's gonna be great to watch the Seahawks play and all that talent. But I do want to see the Dolphins, closing up front. This is a team that I think is bound to take it to the next level. I don't know if this year is the year that they do it, but I mean, the way that Ryan Fitzpatrick plays, you never know if he's going to throw you 5 touchdowns or 5 interceptions. He could be one way or the other, but one thing he's going to have fun. He's going to let it rip. And anytime you do that, you have an opportunity. You have a chance. Russell Wilson is probably the MVP of the league right now if you're taking votes. So it's going to be a great game. But, I'm really excited to watch this game. It's going to be my first non-Jets game of the season.
You'll actually watch a good game. You'll actually watch a capable, less peewee football game. That's for sure. The Cardinals and the Panthers are another game that stands out to me. The Cardinals right now are 2-1. The Panthers are 1-2. I think the Panthers are showing you that they can score in all different levels of the game. Their offensive line has played well. Their defense has taken over in certain aspects of the game. They haven't played as well as I thought they were going to be, losing Luke Kuechly. But again, this is still a quite capable defense that can stop the Cardinals. The Cardinals have to prove to me that they're a Super Bowl contender this year, or even a playoff contender. They look really, really good. And then last week, there were so many weaknesses in their game, especially in the third quarter. Kyler Murray couldn't move inside and out of the pocket. The teams are starting to contain him. If you can contain Kyler Murray, then you could probably beat the Arizona Cardinals. I thought that a lot of teams are trying to figure out Kyler Murray. So I think that's a game that really stands out to me, Eric.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a good game. Obviously, it's tough without Christian McCaffrey in the game. You miss your all-purpose weapon, your Swiss Army knife. But, Teddy Bridgewater's been doing a heck of a job of running the offense. I like the direction they're going. You can see that the future is bright for Carolina, but I think Arizona, I know they had a setback last week, and, it's one of those games where, are we going to see which team is going to show up? And I believe that this team is a solid team. They're going to be competitive, and I think they're going to fight for a wild card. So I do like Arizona in this matchup.
Well, I will say this, and everybody, and I know a lot of Giant fans, where's our segment? There's nothing to attack the Giants right now. They're a rebuilding team. Joe Judge is a new coach, and I think he needs to figure things out. And this team has a lot of weaknesses on the defensive side of the ball. We've seen it. They're offensively, there's a lot of weaknesses too. They don't have top wide receivers like an Odell Beckham. A lot of people are trying to believe that some of their young guys are going to be the next Odell Beckham. You don't find Odell Beckham. He doesn't grow on trees, okay? That's just facts. Evan Ingram looks like he's a bust. They drafted him a couple of years ago. Some people thought he was going to be an explosive tight end. He really hasn't produced and really hasn't shown any likelihood that he's going to be a top tight end in the league for many, many years to come. That's just not going to happen. But all in all, they're a working team. They're a team that's trying to figure things out. They're not as bad as the Jets. That's why I'm not attacking them. They're not the talk of the town right now. Adam Gase and the Jets are the talk of town, not Joe Judge. And I think the Giants want to be that. They want to hide under the curtains, make the Jets look like clowns, and right now they look like clowns, that Adam Gase still has a job. I don't know what, and I love Joe Douglas. I don't know what Joe Douglas is thinking keeping this guy on. You get beaten by a fourth-string quarterback that wasn't even on the team a couple of weeks ago. Now, all of a sudden, you decide there were stories coming out that you were going to fire him. And then all of a sudden you say, you know what, we're not ready to fire him. We're going to keep him for another week. Oh, you just want to show Jet fans that he's going to keep on losing until he finally wins a game. And you say, you see, he won a game. It's ridiculous. But the Giants are playing the Rams this week. I think the Giants have a chance in this game. I really do.
Why?
I'll tell you this. The Rams didn't look as good as they have, the first 2 weeks. Last week, the Rams have deficiencies in their defense. They do. They have Ramsey on one side. The other side of the ball, it's not really, really good. And you can throw to the other side and you can beat them in certain areas of the game. And here's another thing. The Rams have had problems on the outside with the running backs. If the Giants do that, I know they don't have Saquon Barkley, but they have Devontae Freeman. He's more than capable of doing the things that Saquon Barkley could do on the outside. He's not Saquon Barkley, but he's been a successful running back. He was at 2 Pro Bowls. This is a guy that can play the game. I just think that the Giants are going to be able to stay in this game and compete in this game. And I think, and I'm going to say this right now, Jones is going to outplay Jared Goff this week. Remember I said that. He will outplay Jared Goff. You're shaking your head, but I believe it. Why are you shaking your head?
Because there's a man named Aaron Donald on the other side of the ball that is going to bury Daniel Jones. And I don't know if you've seen what he's been doing this season. He is playing at
he's a
his
beast.
peak right now.
Yeah, he's
a special player.
Yeah.
And, to think that Daniel Jones is going to sit back in the pocket and have time to deliver the ball to his receivers, I like the matchups for the Rams. Troy Hill and Jalen Ramsey, I believe are very talented. Obviously, Jalen Ramsey is one of the best. But I think Troy Hill, Darius Williams, they have a couple of the corners that are they're more than capable of.
They haven't played well.
Receivers.
They haven't played well. I'm just saying.
Well, this is a game they can get back on track because the Giants aren't very good.
And that's why I think it's going to be a fun game to watch, because I think the Giants are going to surprise a lot of people. They're going to be in the game to win. I really do believe it. The last game that really stands out to me this week is the game of the week. I think this is the game of the week. The Chiefs versus the Patriots, 4:25 p.m. CBS. The Patriots going to Kansas City. They've beaten Kansas City in Kansas City with Tom Brady. It's a different quarterback. The Kansas City Chiefs have not seen the Patriots play with a powered, special running back, quarterback running back like Cam Newton. I think Cam Newton's going to create a lot of problems and mismatches in the middle of the field. He's going to be able to open the field with some of the running backs. You saw it last week, the way they ran the ball against Oakland. I think they're going to do the same against the Chiefs. I think they're going to be able to do it. I think the Chiefs defense, they have deficiencies. You saw it in the last game that they played. Say whatever you want, they won the game. But they couldn't, at certain parts of the game, they had problems stopping the run. So I think that the Patriots are going to be able to run against the Chiefs and stay in the game, but it's in Kansas City. So I know a lot of people think Kansas City's going to win. That's a game that could be a surprise. I think the Patriots could win that game. I really do.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously they can win the game. I wouldn't put my money on it. I think Kansas City is just so explosive offensively that if New England gets down a couple of touchdowns, it's going to be hard to rely on the arm of Cam Newton to throw you back into this game. So if they can keep it close, if they can keep the score down, they can keep Patrick Mahomes off the board, then they have a chance.